I feel like when it comes to postpartum depression, people need to stop pretending like it is not real. Sometimes I will lash out. My name is Taiwo Okeogene Adebisi, and this is In Conversation with Minority Africa. It was a very blindsiding experience. See, no matter how much you think you know about getting pregnant, being pregnant, and then giving birth to the child, times it by 100. There's nothing that anybody can actually tell you about being pregnant and having children until you experience it yourself. That first trimester morning sickness from the pit of hell. And it's not just, I don't even know why they call it morning sickness. It's all day sickness. You're sick from morning till night, rinse and repeat the next day for at least 14 weeks. That nausea, that vomiting, that food aversions is insane. And then I think for me, I had a relatively easy pregnancy up until I think about 25 weeks when I developed pregnancy-induced hypertension. I was swollen all over my feet, my hands, everything was swollen. My water broke at 29 weeks, so it was I still had about 11 weeks to go before my due date when that happened. I was just trying to take every day as it was coming. I was taking it. I would try to always have maybe crackers, and I think it kind of affected me and affected the size of my baby because I wasn't even eating so much, so my baby wasn't so big. So my second trimester was honeymoon. I was bawling. So the first 16 weeks I was fine, my skin was shining, I was okay. And then when I reached like my 20 weeks, my nose became this size, hyperpigmentation, my face was swollen, was so textured. Like if I touched my face, I was feeling like there were like layers of skin. Ugh. I'll pass by the mirror and I cannot recognize myself. Like I changed like this. I went from shining, beautiful skin to who is this Shrek? Who is this Fiona? Who is this Fiona that I'm seeing in my reflection? So yeah. Pregnancy and its challenges, it came, it went. There's something that I realized, that the strength will find you. The strength to carry that child will find you. So the strength found me for 29 weeks where when I carried my child, I was able to, just push through up until, my water broke, and then that was like a whole emergency and a whole world entirely. Apart from the hypertension that I developed, I was having crazy blood pressure numbers. I would literally just sit down and hyperventilating. My heart is beating so fast. When my feet started, swelling up, I was thinking it's just normal pregnancy leg. Because growing up, I saw a lot of women, pregnant women, their feet and their legs always swollen. So I thought it was normal. Apparently, it is not normal. And if your legs are swelling up, your arms, your hands are swelling up during pregnancy, it is not normal. Apparently, that was a sign that my heart was not functioning well. So anytime I go for my my antenatal, they will check to see, but there was no protein in my urine, was just the hypertension. So they just ruled it a pregnancy-induced hypertension, because before then I was not a known hypertensive. My blood pressure numbers were always perfect. On the day that my water broke, it was in December. I was watching TV, and then I just felt like, gosh, what's going on? What's happening? And then as I stood up, it just came like. I just told my husband that something's going on. He said, what happened? I said, there's water coming out of my bum. So we quickly called my doctor. It was like, if you are sure that it is not pee, you have to come to the hospital right away. I'll meet you there. The crazy thing about being pregnant, childbirth and everything, that's when you realize that your body is not your own. So when we got to the hospital, my doctor was like, oh, take off your your underwear. I was looking at him like, I should go my underwear. And my husband was standing there in my mind. I was just like, what's going through this man's head? But it is what it is. If they don't look at it now, they'll look at it later when I want to born. So everything is going to be open. So apparently they need to open your vagina so that they can see your cervix to see if your cervix is opening or if you are going into labor. Because if you are going into labor, the cervix will start dilating, 2 centimeter, 4 centimeter, whatever. So he wanted to check. But when he checked, to say, your cervix is closed tight. If that is the case, we are going to try to do a test. He prescribed antibiotics for me because now that my membrane has ruptured and some amniotic fluid has come out, my baby is prone to any kind of infection because that sac is the thing that keeps them, is a sterile environment for them. So once it is open for any reason and you're not going into labor, your child is prone to infections. So he gave me antibiotics and I was supposed to go back the next day to check my amniotic fluid. Then in the night around 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something, I just felt another gush. This one, you see, the first one was like tap water. This one's like stream, like the open bucket and poured. So we went to the hospital and that's where they checked to see that, my dear, you no longer have any amniotic fluid. So all that gushing was your water breaking, but it was just coming out bit by bit. And that's when they saw that, my baby was a bit, she was not measuring up to her age. She was a bit small, which would have not mattered if I had gotten full term. But because we are here now, and apparently your baby gains most of their weight in, I think, about 37, 36 weeks. And we are nowhere close. So it was very dicey. This child has been, fighting against all odds because I actually even had fibroids that she was, coexisting with in my womb. I was admitted, taken to the labor ward because I don't know why they were so sure that I was going into labor. My dear, lo and behold, I did not go into labor. 48 hours, I did not go into labor. I was just there. They were pumping me full of steroids, pumping me full of antibiotics, pumping me full of, they were coming to check my vitals literally every 5 minutes. After 48 hours, I wasn't going to labor then. They sent me that I should go and stay somewhere. And they were just monitoring me. Once your water breaks like that and you don't go into labor, it might heal back. There's a 50% chance that your baby will send antibodies to heal that part that has torn open. So we're hoping that that's what will happen. That maybe we can push to, even if it was 35 weeks. I had to be on bed rest and everything. So they were going to repeat the scan in another 2 weeks. I was just mostly alone and I wasn't happy about it. So I wanted to go home. So I said, I beg, they should come and do another scan. If the water has come back up, they should release me. I'll go home and I would not do anything. I will not lift a finger. Lo and behold, they did the scan and that's when they realized that not even a single drop of water was in that amniotic sac. So my baby was, in fact, she was not floating. And it was so bad because if there's nothing to swim in, she's going to attach to the uterus. And if that happens, both your uterus and your baby will have to be evacuated. That means you will not have uterus again. You cannot born baby again. So thank God, because immediately, in fact, from then, as I saw that there's no water, completely dried up, you are not going back to any room, straight emergency C-section. That feeling was terror. It was terror. I was terrified. I couldn't cry. There was nothing, I was numb, but I was terrified. I was thinking the worst. So yeah, it was terror. I was terrified when I knew that I was going to have a preterm child. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I will have a preterm child. And that is the uncertainty that this whole pregnancy and motherhood brings with it. It is such an uncertain journey. You don't know what is waiting for you. You can only pray for the best. Being diagnosed with pregnancy-induced hypertension, and then having to have a preterm child is the worst thing that can happen to any mother. From anxiety to complete nervous and mental breakdown to feeling numb. I had to stay in the hospital for 8 weeks. I had to stay in one mother's lodge that was not the best of accommodations, but I did not mind. I was sharing bathrooms and toilets with how many other women, but I did not mind because I felt like I had to be there for my child. Being separated from your child at birth is something that messes with your mind. Even when she was brought out via emergency C-section, I couldn't hold her. It messes with your mind. It makes you feel inadequate. It makes you second guess all the choices you've made in this life. It makes you feel like you've done everything wrong. And imagine what that does to your mental health. Those 8 weeks when I was in the hospital, I caught up from everybody because it was survival mode for me. In fact, I fought with my husband 10 billion times. I fought with my mommy, my mother-in-law. Nobody, nothing mattered to me than seeing that my baby pulls through without any, any challenges. I was blaming myself for everything. I should have done better on my diet. I should have prioritized my health more. Oh, it is my fault. It messed with my mind so much that even after 8 weeks when we were discharged and we came back home, I kind of had an identity crisis. I could not separate myself from this thing that happened to me. When people talk of depression, you think, you're just somewhere sleeping and crying. No, I mean, there were days I was very upbeat, but it was all a lie. I was smiling when nothing was to be smiling about. Sometimes I will lash out. I feel like when it comes to postpartum depression, people need to stop pretending like it is not real. Family and friends need to stop pretending like it is not real because it is real. Also, remember that all of this time, you have not gotten back to your pre-pregnancy look, so you still look horrible. Or maybe you look better, but in your mind, you still look terrible. Your stomach is still hanging. You have a scar, especially C-section mothers. You have a scar that you have for the rest of your life. It's scary, but it's also very beautiful. You can do it. All your fears are valid. Feel them. You have to be ready for anything. Nobody starts their pregnancy or starts their pregnancy journey expecting the worst. But time and time again, we have been shown as mothers that anything can happen. It is not just about carrying the child or birthing the child. You have to also take care of the child. It's a giant structure. Be ready for breastfeeding. Be ready to feel like crap after your child. Be ready to experience labor and birthing. Some people have it easy. Some people would not even dilate. Some people would not even, like me, get to 40 weeks. But the beautiful thing is that you will do it anyhow, and you will do it well.